When the Japanese samurai faces the European medieval knight, who is the ultimate warrior? Welcome to the land of Tanagashima on this dramatic afternoon. Today, we're witnessing an unprecedented showdown, a clash between two of the most legendary warrior classes in human history. On one side, we have the 16th century samurai, warriors of honor, martial skill, and a time of military innovation. On the other side stands the European knight, forged through generations of warfare, clad in armor that borders on invincible. The question is, which tradition will prevail in this brutal contest? The battle begins with 3 rounds of one-on-one duels, and right away, the tension skyrockets. But I don't think this format will last for long. The organizers have allowed the samurai to call for reinforcements, a move that makes sense considering how they used to conduct warfare. Luckily, no wild animals showed up today, but that doesn't make the fight any less intense. Both sides will have to go all in if they want a shot at victory. Then an explosion, both literal and metaphorical, as the lead samurai enters the fight. Sweat trickles beneath layers of traditional armor, but his eyes remain locked on the enemy. And wait, is he riding a horse? Apparently, the rules allow it. Not that I try stopping him. Interestingly, the knight seems to be adapting quickly. He's mounting his horse too. It makes perfect sense. Elite samurai, especially during the Muromachi period, often fought on horseback instead of on foot. This warrior is even accompanied by an Ishigaru, a support soldier, though it seems like he hasn't quite caught up with the latest battle fashion trends. The samurai's armor is Dumaru style, lightweight and flexible, made for maneuverability while riding. The kusazuri, or skirt armor, is divided into 8 flaps to help him move freely, while his Sujikabuto helmet protects the head without compromising visibility too much. Still, I can't help but worry. Since this armor is held together by cords, can it really stand up to the devastating blows of European weaponry, typically heavier and more destructive? Across the field, the European knight advances with a long lance. In a swift, unexpected move, he dodges the samurai's first strike, a display of lightning reflexes that proves he's not just strong but tactically sharp. His barbuda helmet, open-faced for better visibility yet still offering solid protection, is clearly working to his advantage. The fight escalates when the Ishigaru joins in. He quickly hands his ally a yari, a spear nearly 10 feet long, razor-sharp and highly effective against cavalry. Both sides are now gearing up for a decisive blow. So who will win? The samurai, with his masterful horsemanship and refined weapons? Or the knight, with thick steel armor and experience from the blood-soaked battlefields of medieval Europe? The outcome is still unclear, but one thing's certain, this is a battle where neither side can afford to make a mistake. Looking at the gleaming armor worn by the European knight, it's clear he enjoys being the center of attention. The intricate embossed designs on his breastplate, which appear to be of German origin, say it all. This type of armor was typically crafted for show, used in parades or royal ceremonies, not for actual combat. Did he come to the wrong place? This is a battlefield, not a fashion show. Still, to avoid overburdening his warhorse, the knight has opted for a lighter version of his armor, prioritizing mobility. Clearly, he's betting on agility over brute defense. And now, both warriors are in position for the next round. The scene looks like something straight out of a medieval joust, 2 mounted fighters facing off, weapons raised, ready to charge in a split-second showdown. The outcome of this round will come down to reflexes, who strikes faster and more accurately. As the 2 horses thunder forward, cutting through the air like arrows, the knight lands a direct hit to the samurai's chest. The blow is so powerful it knocks the samurai clean off his horse, sending him crashing to the ground, nearly unconscious. A clear victory for the knight, at least for this round. As the knight begins his victory lap, the camera shifts to the rest of the battlefield where the other matchups are heating up by the minute. Spectators are eagerly awaiting the use of firearms. The revolutionary technology of 16th century warfare and matchlock guns are already locked and loaded, ready to fire. However, the event organizers have ruled that this contest will remain strictly melee-based, banning ranged weapons like bows and firearms. The goal is to level the playing field, since European warriors had significantly more experience with guns. But it looks like things are about to spiral out of control. Somehow, 2 of the next fighters have decided to bring hot weapons into the arena, completely ignoring the rules. Tensions rise. In the spirit of fair play, we can only hope the knight at least lets his opponent finish reloading before opening fire. The samurai is wielding a matchlock arquebus, a firearm introduced to Japan by the Portuguese in 1542. Within just a few decades, the Japanese had already mastered both the production and use of this weapon. As for the knight, it's no surprise he's chosen a more advanced firearm, the caliver, a refined version of the arquebus, more commonly known as the musket. While he could have opted for a more cutting-edge wheel-lock gun with its improved reliability and complicated mechanism, the caliver remains the safer, more trusted choice. The two warriors raise their guns. The fateful moment arrives. Two thunderous shots ring out and a cloud of white smoke engulfs them both. The entire arena holds its breath. As the smoke slowly clears, the scene that emerges is unexpected. The samurai is still standing strong, while the knight lies sprawled on the ground, his hands still gripping the gun, his eyes clouded with pain. He makes one final attempt to rise, but his strength fails and then he collapses, never to rise again. What a swift and surprising ending. Sometimes, the effectiveness of modern technology can take away some of the drama from a battle. But no matter, our samurai has earned this victory. As he takes his final steps in a well-deserved victory lap, brace yourself, the final duel lies just ahead. At last, the audience gets to witness a true showdown, a ground-level fight with no war horses, no ranged weapons, just two warriors, two swords, and unshakable resolve. No more jousting or gunfire, this is the most classic kind of duel, blade versus blade, where every step could be the difference between life and death. This time, the European knight enters with a noticeably different loadout than his predecessors. Gone is the ornate armor, instead he wears a practical Italian-influenced suit of armor, known for its sturdy design and high resistance to fast-paced slashing and thrusting attacks. His rounded cuirass, puffed outward at the chest, helps to disperse the impact of incoming strikes. Still, a weakness remains on his right side. If the samurai catches it, everything could change in an instant. Not missing a single detail, the knight also dons full arm, leg, and shoulder protection. The segmented construction of his armor allows for greater mobility than its bulky appearance might suggest. His opponent is a samurai clad in tosei gusoku, a modernized evolution of the traditional dumaru armor worn by his fellow samurai earlier. Tosei gusoku is made up of large hinged plates covering the chest, shoulders, and waist, along with an obi belt to evenly distribute weight across the body. Though not seamlessly connected like dumaru, it still allows solid flexibility. The samurai's armor also includes sunnate shin guards and hide-8 thigh protectors, offering near-complete protection for close-quarters combat. However, facing the knight's mighty swings from a heavy two-handed sword, there's no guarantee those layers will hold for long. This time, the knight forgoes the usual slender rapier. He wields a broad, heavy two-handed sword, built for raw power, clearly a strategic choice against Japanese lamellar armor. His opponent, the samurai, holds a traditional weapon, the naginata, a polearm with a curved blade at the end of a long wooden shaft, flexible, fast, and well-suited for dynamic movement. The samurai quickly shows his advantage in speed, circling the knight with agile footwork, probing for gaps in the armor. But the naginata favors slashing attacks, forcing him to constantly evade the knight's hammer-like swings. The difference in weight and reach creates a tense, back-and-forth struggle for control. You can see the skill in every step. The knight is far from sluggish, he adjusts his stance, angle, and strike position with precision after each move, never exposing a weakness. Japanese weaponry is equally formidable. The naginata blade wielded by the samurai is forged using traditional steel folding techniques from Setetsu iron sand, producing a razor-sharp edge called haki capable of slicing through most types of armor. Even if the blade's core is made of low-carbon steel, typical in traditional forging, it's designed to absorb impact without snapping. If a strike lands cleanly, the result could be fatal. The fight grows more intense. The two begin trading probing attacks, each trying to find the other's vulnerability. Then suddenly, the knight lands a precise blow. His blade strikes the samurai's right hand, the only area not fully protected. With his grip weakened, the Japanese warrior begins to struggle to control the long and heavy naginata. The samurai counters, swinging several slashing attacks in an attempt to drive the knight back, but none seem to penetrate the thick layers of European steel. He's clearly losing ground. Every second is another step back. Without a breakthrough, the fight is nearing its end and a single misstep could tip the balance entirely. You can feel the tension written all over the samurai's face. His eyes betray concern and it's completely justified. The battle has dragged on and both his stamina and focus are fading. In a decisive flash, the European knight charges an explosive, powerful lunge, his steel blade arcing downward and thrusting straight into the seam between the plates of the tosei gusoku armor. It's a critical weak point he's been targeting all along. The blade sinks deep into the samurai's torso and the warrior collapses like a tree felled in the forest. There's no coming back. He lies motionless, breath ragged, fingers slack around the handle of his weapon, eyes fading as life slips away. Meanwhile, the knight, his armor covered in dust and sweat, stands tall, raising his blood-stained sword like a symbol of ultimate triumph. This isn't just the end of a duel, it's the closing chapter in a legendary series of clashes between two of history's most iconic warrior cultures. Today's battle is decided. The European fighter has prevailed through strength, strategy, and sheer endurance. His team claims victory not just through weaponry but by outlasting their opponents to the bitter end. In the heavy silence that follows, only the stares of stunned onlookers remain. No matter which side you were rooting for, there's no denying it. This was a dramatic, brutal, and deeply emotional encounter. A fitting end to a day of epic combat.